What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
No one knows the rest of the song, dude. Like that song's so jamming, and like we have it that we use it for like our own thing, and like I've used like almost none of the whole song, so I just keep singing and rocking out to it, and everyone else is like, that's how the song ends. I heard it end.
Yeah, we love our intro song. Original music, by the way.
Yeah.
Are those the actual lyrics?
I can't imagine it's not the words. Something about getting away. That's the thing too. Yeah, it was actually music that was sort of gifted to us by a friend who makes music for things like video games and stuff. And so he was like, here's a folder of music that you guys can use that's licensed for this specific thing, and here you go. It's your music now. And I was like, oh, let's do it. So I guess if you go to our YouTube, which you can find through WrestlingOnTheRocks.com, there's a couple videos I've made where I've used variations or remixes of it, so you can kind of hear the rest of the song, I suppose. But no one would know that anyways because it's only episode 1. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, where episode 1 is every episode. I'm Marsh. I'm at Ref Marsh. If you look around, Kevlar, let the people know who you is.
I is Kevlar on the Rocks with an X. Yeah, I throw up the X on like AEW refs.
Whoa. A little inside baseball there.
I like this.
It's from the outside looking in. We are not insiders. It's from the outside looking in.
That's it.
Yeah. Like the funny bit is any AEW ref who might listen would be like, "What does he mean? Why would you? What's the X? Why would you throw the X?"
We're not WWE.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. What does he even mean?
Is he telling us to suck it? What the hell?
Yeah. Where does he think all refs are in DX? Idiot. All right. Well, I've broken my iPad here already. Oh, here we go. No, it's not working. There we go. Nope. Worse. Worse now.
What is happening?
I didn't know this was an option. What's happening here? Oh, wait. Here we go. All right. Nope. That one didn't do it.
You're listening to the podcast. Thank you.
Yes. Hopefully we can get episode 2 so you can get a new iPad that you just wrote.
Yeah, once we hit episode 2, I'll get a new iPad or something. I think that's how it works.
Welcome if you're just joining us for the first time. We hardly have it together, but...
It's only episode 1. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's our first show, kind of.
Yeah, episode 1. Take it easy.
What?
Relax. Take it easy.
Year and a half at this point.
Take it easy, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some shows take years to get to episode 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess in those cases, it's just that the pilot wasn't picked up, right? It wasn't that
there
was a series of episodes in between.
Yeah. How many pilots did Family Guy get before they took off?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
A couple cancellations in there. We haven't got canceled yet. We're ahead of the curve.
Yep, not canceled yet. That's why we bite our tongues. Not trying to get canceled. Guys, it's coming up towards the end of October. And if you've listened to any other episode 1, you know that we are supporting Sober for October, hashtag Sober October at gosober.org.uk. Gosober.org.uk. Where you can go and donate for the cause. Donate now. Support a sober hero. Because we support it. Because we do. This is a drinking show, but it's not about what you're drinking. It's about who you're drinking with. It's not about what's in your glass. It's about who's sitting next to you. It's about the other ass. You know what I mean? That's how you'd make that right. Mm-hmm. It's not about what's in the glass. It's the other ass.
It's not about what's in the glass. It's about the ass.
It's about the other ass. Not just your own.
The other guy.
Yeah.
I don't like this slogan.
Yeah, no. Because you don't need to have liquor to have a cocktail. You can have a little butt dust cocktail with your buddy. You know what I mean?
Oh, gross.
You lost me on that one.
That one was a newer one I was trying out. They don't all... Whatever, man. I hear you trying shit, so...
Yeah, you don't
You
talk
can't
about
hit a home
butt
run every
dust.
time.
Yeah. Just a swing. Just got to swing. With that in mind, I am drinking mango lemonade. Kevlar, what are you drinking?
A couple little Gatorades and water.
And do you want to mention the Sober for October thing?
I did already.
All right, you just said it for October. You didn't.
No, I gave the link. I said to donate. I read off the website.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
the
did all
dot
those
uck.
things.
All right.
I even said .uck. That's right. I made a joke about it too.
All right, just double checking. Sorry, I was checking settings.
She's not even listening to the beginning.
I-
She should be doing the sound test. She should be going, you sound super far away right now. And I'd be like, that's because I put the mic down to pour a drink. And she should be yelling at me about that. She didn't even know.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by butt dust.
You listened to that. That's the only words you heard.
Yeah. But this is the longest producers paid attention without falling asleep, so you're making progress.
You know what? I can mute you all if I want.
She's like, last call. And then just...
Actually, if you're just tuning in, during the intro, I warned Kevlar that I was going to mute him to do the intro, and he kept talking, so we didn't hear whatever you said, Kevlar.
Yeah, cut the mic. As you're saying something, she cuts the mic. She goes, I fucking told them. And then just starts playing the music. And I was like, Jesus. With that producer heat. We haven't seen that kind of producer heat since Lunar. Let's see. The other thing I want to talk about. Well, let's throw this out there real quick. We are still trying to give away a signed AJ Styles comic book. I wish you wouldn't do the hand gesture the way you did it. That was grossly offensive.
Oh my god.
Wow.
We're trying to give away this comic book signed by AJ Styles. We put it, if you would tweet a picture of it, I wouldn't have to worry about the angles.
I did a long time ago.
Once a year ago. Look, we're going to give it away when we hit 50 subscribers. We've got plenty of time.
That's a good...
Subscribers on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks. You can go to WrestlingOnTheRocks.com to find out all the stuff. Figure out how you can even subscribe for free to be entered in to win this for free. No cost to you. And you can still get AJ Styles signed comic book. I guess that's all I have to say about that.
Do it.
Mike. Yeah, just do it. Just please. Just please. We do have one other thing I wanted to talk about at the top. Mission Pro Wrestling, their show is next week. And hopefully we'll be having one of our own, Dork Chop, going to the show live to give us a live report of what's happening. Not spoilers, though. He's not just going to be leaking shit online. But he's going to go. You can get it at TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com to get the stream if you are not in town in Texas to go to the show. But you can check out more about them at missionprowrestling.net to find that out. And one of their towns just got bumped from the show. I believe it's Alex Garcia or Alexa Garcia. I believe it was Alex Garcia. She was pulled from the show. There's rumors she may have signed a good deal. Alex Garcia. But she's pretty good. I've been seeing her out there.
Yeah, there's rumor of NXT, but we don't know. Could be anyone. Any little promotion, so.
Yeah, if she signed anywhere, I mean, that's what I mean. It's a rumor that I have no idea, so I didn't want to just put out clearly unsubstantiated. I mean, that's the whole thing. Man. Yeah, she could have signed with someone. She could be sick. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot there, but it sounded like the way she posted her thing that everything was good. Keep watching. There's good news to follow, but we don't know what that means or where she's landed. But if she's canceled doing a show that's as good as Mission Pro Wrestling, then I think that there's probably something to be said there. She's probably got something really cool lined up that is going to be really exciting to see. So keep an eye out for that.
Maybe she's pregnant.
Well, Becky leaves one time and you think everyone's pregnant now, dude. I don't even get it.
Becky's not the only person to get pregnant.
You're like, where's Elias been? I think he's pregnant.
He's pregnant.
Really?
Clearly pregnant.
Yeah. He's been gone
Heard it
months,
from
dude.
Dave.
Think about it. Think about it. He's been gone months.
Months.
Yeah.
Where do you think Xavier was?
Yeah.
He's pregnant.
Xavier.
He had to lose the baby fat to come back.
Yeah. Lost that baby fat, came on back, and now he's tag team champion, which I guess we'll talk about a little bit later as well.
Yes.
I think that's all the stuff I have as far as like that stuff goes, that kind of stuff. I don't know that I had any rumors. Everyone saw the video of the guy get his legs crushed.
Yes. Terrible.
It was gnarly.
And there's actually a
Folded like a
GoFundMe.
flamingo.
Yeah, Hurricane Helm said he saw a man turn into a grasshopper or get grasshopper legs, something like that. But yeah, I was going to throw that out there. He's got a GoFundMe now. So if you saw that and you were largely entertained, you can go find his GoFundMe online. I don't have it in front of me, but you can find it, I'm sure, without too much issue on Twitter. But you can support him, see if he can. I mean, he's got to get better. Like, no one wants that to be the end of his story. But can you imagine the return after that, though? If he had a return for that? Oh, I mean, I don't think anyone thinks it's not a serious injury. No one saw that and they're all like, he's probably fine, right?
Yeah. He'll be on next week's show.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, he's lucky he was where he's at. Some places might have just cleared you to finish the match.
Yeah.
What? I didn't say where. What'd I say? I didn't say where. Did I
One
say
of
where?
those Florida promotions.
Yeah, you never know what's going
Not
on.
saying
Now.
which one.
Yeah.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat.
Stackhouse.
Oh shoot! Stackhouse! Whoop whoop! He's made it back.
What's up?
Triumphant returns. Just talking about. He said that was the worst thing I've seen in a long time, and I agree. Oh, there's the GoFundMe's in our actual chat, but yeah, that was devastating. And then I watched it so many times because I was just all like, he just came down the rope. Like, nothing happened. How did that happen? I think his heels dug into the mat when he jumped down and he was trying to twist. And I think that his legs just didn't continue with his body weight. That's what I think. It was just, but yeah, it was gnarly. The worst thing. Far worse than Stackhouse murdering that guy from Walmart, which is still one of my favorite videos.
That is.
Yeah, it's still good. Still good. Let's see. I don't think that I had much else. I don't think there was anything really in the news. Was there anything that anybody saw?
I don't think so.
Gav, did you have anything news-wise?
No.
Give out another shout-out to Not Sam. He's got the show on the network now, and I'm still very excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through some of the stuff real quick. I don't see any other news. Well, no, I don't think it's worth it on this one. Yeah, no other news. Nope. Confirmed. No news. Can you imagine tuning into the news and getting that? I'm just trying to find anything right now. Hold on, give me a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 minutes into the show, so like confirmed. There's no news for today. Continue on with Family Guy. Well, Kev, I don't know that we need to necessarily go into segment by segment from SmackDown, Hell in a Cell, and Raw, but I think we can talk of the build-in and the fallout and the happenings of, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good? Thumbs up?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was it.
I think we covered it. I don't know what else to say, really.
That was it. Last call.
Last call. Dude, first off, I mean, I'm just going to say this because this is the first picture that pops up on my thing here. Alexa Bliss in the Funhouse leading into Hell in a Cell got me so amped up, hoping they're going to do more with that. And then on SmackDown last night. No, SmackDown wasn't last night. Monday was. Raw was last night. What is happening?
You're jumping ahead.
I don't know.
False start on the mark.
False start. Hey, Kev, you take over from here. What do you want to talk about, Kev?
So SmackDown. Bayley didn't want to sign the contract.
Shut up! That was wild, dude. She like so they. What? Let's just talk about that story.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Sasha forced her to sign it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Leading in.
Yeah,
it was nice. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, made her sign it. Attacked her and stuff like that. I didn't realize one kick would knock Bayley out where she couldn't move.
I mean, it was a hell of a knee, though.
It was.
But yeah, dude. So let's talk about that. Just that story. Let's just talk about it. So leading into Hell in a Cell, Bayley refuses to sign this contract, and then Sasha just beats the shit out of her and makes her sign it. The week before, Bayley was just like, I don't want to sign it, and leaves. Like, and the week before that, Bayley's like losing in a match, so hits Sasha with a chair, then leaves. Like, and then was it the week before that she hit Asuka with a chair to get out of a match? Like, she was booked kind of weak going into this pay-per-view, and I was getting really nervous just out of the idea of like, Bayley's built so much in this past year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's come across looking really strong and made a lot of people who people did not think would look good, made them look good. And I know people were trying to... I saw the dumbest thread online where someone's all like, oh, both Bayley and Sasha had a year-long run. Or not Bayley. Becky and Bayley had a year-long run. Let's compare their matches. And they went through and tried to find all of their absolute favorite Becky matches and all of the one-off Bayley matches. And so it's like Bayley and Tamina and Bayley and Nikki. And they showed Bayley and Nikki like 3 times on the list. And you're like, dude, relax. Becky also went up against Lacey like 6 times. Like,
yeah.
It was really weighted. And so I was just like, dude, relax. But I also think that Nikki looked fantastic in those matches. She looked the best she'd looked in a really long time. Tamina had a fantastic championship match, which everyone wanted her to have. And now she's got one. You know what I mean?
And it was unexpected. Like, we, going into that match, it was just like, oh, this is going to be great. And, they put on a performance.
Yeah. And that's all I'm saying is that I think that there was a huge... She built a lot on the way in. And then so for her to kind of peter out on the way out of being like, and I got really weak there at the end. I don't know. I wasn't really super thrilled about it. Did you get a chance to check out the Chronicle that they did on Bayley?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough for you to try and squeeze that one in. It was fantastic. And they really went into depth about Bayley's why and personally what motivates her. But also they went into depth about the Bayley and Sasha story, and on the Bumps Her interview really went into the why she's doing what she's doing and why she doesn't think that she should have to face Sasha. And it was really good. And I saw a lot of people complaining, saying that this is the stuff that should have been on the TV and not on these sideshows. But also, the stuff still made it out there, and people who were super invested in the story could have found it. We can't have every hour of every show be about Sasha and Bayley. They're going to have to squeeze it in somehow, And I do think because the video package, which was so good, really just talked about the last couple months, I think that means we're leading up to a WrestleMania match where then the video packages will be like for the last 6 years, this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, I mean, they've gone back and forth a couple times, and then they had to go to anger management. Then they went back together, and, they haven't been mentioning really any of that stuff.
Yeah. Bayley even mentioned in the Bump interview that when their first title reign as tag champs, and you're going to remember immediately when I tell you this, something we'd already talked about during that reign, Sasha had a bad shoulder. She had a sprained shoulder or separated shoulder or something like that where she was injured. She couldn't work as much. And so Bayley mentioned how she took on the workload of that tag team. And if you remember, we talked about, hey, Bayley's looking amazing in all these matches and really the workhorse of this team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I forgot who it was against, but it was basically a 2-on-1, and Sasha wasn't even there.
Yeah, they just straight up pulled her out of one of the matches one time.
Yeah. We're like, this makes no sense, But yeah, it makes sense now that she was injured.
Yeah, no, it made total sense. But so she was talking about that too. She was like, so, I literally carried Sasha through this entire first title reign, which we lost. And then she goes, and then this time when we lost the titles and we weren't getting them back, she goes, I just didn't want to carry her one more time. I've built too much of my own legacy. I've got too much of my own work to do. I can't be taking her over my shoulders as well. And you're like, ooh.
I like it.
Yeah. That seems deep-rooted. So leading into it, I also thought, hey, they're leading in, really putting Bayley as an underdog. She really came off like, hey, I don't think that she's going to win this one. Sasha's coming off like, which made me think, hey, maybe Bayley's actually going to win it.
Yeah. But I mean, even, how many times did they mention during the match, oh, this is Sasha's third time. There's been 3 Hell in the Cells. Didn't they even call her, Mrs. Hell in the Cell or something like that, or the Hell in the Cell Queen, something?
That's possible. They could.
Yeah,
have.
they mentioned some kind of reference like that. Yeah, and they just kept saying, hey, she's been in all 3 of them that they've had, and this is Bayley's first.
Yeah. And well, I guess we'll just talk through the story. I mean, there's no reason to try and jump out and jump back in later. What did you think of the Hell in a Cell match?
I thought it was really good. I thought, they put on a great performance. Still trying to figure out what Bayley was trying to do, duct taping those kendo sticks together.
It was so good, dude. I love when she's trying to get the duct tape off and she looks up at the ref. I'm sweaty. Can you get this for me? He goes, no, I can't get that.
Yeah. That was so good.
And she looked like minorly annoyed. It was so funny. So I was like, I wonder if there was part of her that actually thought, oh, maybe the ref will actually do this for me.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out too. I think that whatever it was, I think they were trying to give some time for Sasha to get to the fire extinguisher. I do also think that I don't know that she taped one of those up before, because the way she did it, I was like, she had it right the first time, and then she flipped them around, and I was like, that's just gonna fall apart. The other side's more sturdy. The handles are way more sturdy. And so then she taped it and the whole thing fell apart. And then like she looks at Michael Cole and Corey Graves and they're like shrugging like, I don't know. And then Michael Cole's even like, it's whatever Bayley was trying to make is a mess over here. Like, shut up, Michael Cole.
Outside of that,
continue to.
Yeah, outside of that, I thought the match was great. I thought the ending was a little sloppy, but it got to where they wanted it.
What bit?
Just where, I forget exactly how it ended, but
with the chair,
Sasha throws Bayley, and they kind of obviously have to keep it close, and I think it would have been better if the chair was just knocked on the ground and then she grabbed it. It just looked a little overdone.
Yeah, how they got the chair back inside to do that spot, that was a little bit weird. Because even then, like, that means the ref moved the chair and put it up there against the door. Like, what? Why would a ref do that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got that too, and I thought that was a little bit weird. But I do think that part of that was just because they wanted the symbolism of it. When she walked out, she had spray painted 1-0 on the chair, and even points at it and says to Sasha, that's right, 1-0. I'm coming out without a loss. And then when Sasha uses the chair to get the leverage on Bayley, it's flipped around, so it's 0-1.
Yeah. And
I was all like, oh, that's a nice touch. I like that. And the end of it, where she's got her in the bank statement and stomping on her, that's the same way that the last woman standing match ended when Bayley won, except without the chair.
Yeah.
And I believe that was the one. Because I think Brooklyn is where Bayley won the world title. But I believe that the last woman standing was when Sasha came back to reclaim it. And then that's when it was really like, yeah, Sasha's gone now. You know what I mean? But no one talks about that one. But that's the one where Bayley held on to it. And even, I believe Stephanie McMahon was on commentary, and he was even talking about this tough side of Bayley we don't normally see, and this edge to her. And I remember talking to you about it, and I was all like, dude, going back, she's like stomping the shit out of an injured Sasha. Where's that edge on the main roster? Well, we fucking got it. We got there.
We got it.
But
She had to get her hair and haircut to get it.
Amen. Careful. Producer keeps trying to make me get my hair cut the same way.
What? She's your role model. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, see what I'm talking about?
You get the little design in the back too.
Yeah, the little flames and stuff. Dude, I do think though that was probably the best match of the night.
Yeah.
I think there was other good matches for sure, but I felt like that one was move for move tremendous. Here's a question a lot of people are asking, because I guess it's natural to ask. Do you think this was better than the Brooklyn match, or do you even remember much of the Brooklyn match?
I saw the Brooklyn match a while ago, but I don't know. I think this, probably going to go down as match of the year unless something else happens in the next few months.
Well, I think that ladder match is going to be a tough one to beat, but I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
That Clash ladder match was pretty intense, but I think the only reason I think that it's not as big a deal as the Brooklyn match is because of what the Brooklyn match meant historically for women. It was the first time the women ever main evented a pay-per-view for NXT, for any program that was WWE at all. And it was, I think just the time of it all. I think that signified so much more than just being a great match. It was a tremendous match, but also was a lot there. You know what I mean? And this match, as it stands, was not a and also. It was just a tremendous match, which is nothing to scoff at. And I think if you were to look at them in a bubble, move for move as a match, I think it would be really difficult to say which one is actually better. But the Brooklyn one, I think, is going to hold more meaning long term.
Yeah. And I also think, this, even just with this recent storyline, I don't think this is the end of it.
I don't think so, dude. A lot of people are talking about like it's supposed to be, and I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's also...
I think it's going to branch off and lead into something else between them.
Me too. I think we're going to get to Mania one way or another. Producer wants to say something?
Oh, it's also really wild when you think that she had a loss in the family shortly before this match. So that's kind of just crazy to think about too.
It was about a month ago, just shy of a month, I think. She had lost her stepfather. She talks about it in the Chronicle the day before Clash of Champions, and so she showed up into Clash of Champions. And there's also speculation from the outside looking into on if the Sasha Banks injury angle with the neck got cut short to maybe rush the storyline a little bit to get it to where we could get here sooner and not drag it out. But I also think that, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if the plan was to get to Hell in a Cell all along. I mean, why wouldn't you put those women in a cell?
Yeah, they deserve to be locked up, those two.
Those crazy lunatics. Yeah, I think it was a tremendous match. Do you think this is going to mean a long-term championship reign with Sasha, or do you think she loses it on Friday?
I mean, half of me wants her to lose it on Friday just to continue that streak. But at the same time, I think she needs it to retain it once.
I agree. There is a small part of me that's like, I don't know, I kind of like the fact that she's never retained one.
The fans would go insane.
They would fucking lose it. Can you imagine?
It'd be so great, though.
So good. If she, lost it to Zelina.
You guys are such heels.
Yeah.
That'd be so good, dude.
No, I think it'd be funny. It'd be pretty cool if she held it for a year, too.
No.
If they just tie.
No, they
hold
can't
it for
tie.
so long. Why?
Because Bayley's better.
Wow. Okay.
Jesus. I don't even say that kind of stuff in this house. Trying to tie. Bayley is actually second to Mae Young or was it Moolah? Moolah. Second to Moolah for longest title time held the championship.
Can you speak? Oh my God.
Get this man some booze.
This is why we got to get out of Sober for October. This is why we got to get out of it. My body's shutting down without it.
You just have this show and the next show, and then you're back to booze.
Back to boozeness. My body's going down.
You're gonna have a countdown like New Year's. It's November.
Remember when Clump drank that Gentleman Jack bottle that was hibiscus tea, but he opened it up like it was whiskey and just drank the whole thing? That's what's gonna happen the second November 1st hits. Yeah. We did it! So Bayley's held a women's championship title for the longest of all time, second only to Moolah, because Moolah held it for 10,000 days.
Yes.
Because she had it for like a day, like she owned it. She just literally owned it during the territory days, so no one could have it.
Yeah, she still has it.
Yeah, she probably still has it. Yeah, it's still counting.
Yeah.
But I think that's really cool. I think it's awesome, especially for someone that we've talked about before, does not get a lot of recognition about being part of the Four Horsewomen. She's the kind of also is there in a lot of people's lists, and I think that that's bogus, personally. Yeah. So I think that having some of these accolades behind her, I think, are important for her character even, because, and I think even her is just a fan of what she does. Like, for her being a fan of what she does, I think she needs to hold those kinds of records to solidify that I wasn't just here and I didn't just win some championships. I am a record breaker. You know what I mean? Like, I did it through my wrestling and my wrestling alone. Like, that's tremendous.
Do you think this leads on to her winning at Rumble?
I think it's a very strong possibility. Wait a second. Charlotte won last year. Becky won the year before. We can't just have the Four Horsewomen win the Rumble every year, can we?
Yeah. Asuka won the first one. So
and she's kind of like an honorary Four Horsewoman because she feuds with all of them.
Yeah. She's like the Sting to the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, until the other women step up to their levels.
Yeah, step it up, other women.
Lana's showing promise.
Yeah. Lana's coming up. Lana is hot on your tails.
She is becoming one with tables.
Yep. So I loved that match. I love this story wherever it's going. I don't know if this means Bayley's getting time off for a bit or if she's going to show right back up, but I don't know, because a lot of people are putting her in a Survivor Series match. They're saying that they think that she'll be captain of the Survivor Series team, so I don't know.
I hope that she does get time off because we know Sasha took a lot of time off just to, process a lot of stuff going on mentally. I think, yeah, Bayley, I feel like they've just been working so hard.
Yeah.
And especially with a death in the family, I hope that she gets time off for that.
Yeah, some of the accolades that Bayley does hold is things like the most consecutive pay-per-view title defenses and stuff. Like some of the stuff she's held over this past year, she only missed like one SmackDown in the entire year she was champion. She was only missed one pay-per-view out of all of them where she didn't defend it because she wasn't, or did she even not have one? Like, it's been crazy. Like, she's been on every single SmackDown. She was on almost every Raw for a while. There was just, she hasn't had time off like other people have had time off. So, yeah, I think it's earned, personally. If she should so choose. She's
I think it'd be funny if, just storyline wise, if she is getting time off, like, the coming up SmackDown, she throws like a temper tantrum and she's like, well, I don't want to be here anyways, and then we don't see her for a while.
What if she comes back in a week and has long hair?
I was going to actually say that too. The Bailey buddies come back and hey!
They're all taped up and shit, zombie looking.
Yeah. They're just
so good.
Holes in them. Just...
Yeah. Be so good. So let's go back a little bit. Was there anything else you want to talk about Sasha Bayley?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go back to SmackDown really quick because were you on Thursday? You weren't, right?
No, I was not.
Did you watch AEW this week?
No, I did not.
Oh. Well, there was a musical number. It got me very upset on the show last week.
Yeah.
So I would be remiss to pretend that Law and Otis on SmackDown didn't equally bother me on some level.
Yeah.
This is the kind of goofy shit that I think drives people away from wrestling. And this is the kind of goofy shit that I think that people like us get made fun of for watching wrestling. Watching this and watching a musical, I actually like reached out to some people in like some of the group chats I'm in, and like I was like, hey, is anyone old enough? Like, all these people are talking about, oh, it's brilliant. Are any of you old enough to remember being bullied and made fun of in school because strictly that you like wrestling? Like, that was enough reason for them. It's like, this is the reason why stuff like this. This is a callback to that time frame of like, oh, this is what people point at and laugh at when you say that you're a wrestling fan. They go, this stuff? And you go, no, I'm talking about the Ric Flair stuff. And they're like, never heard of it, but I definitely know about that musical. I definitely know about Law and Otis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you think of Law and Otis? I will say it did make me laugh at times, but I don't think it was, I don't know. What do you think?
I think exactly what you just said. Like, it was funny. Like, if it was like a special on the network, tune into Law and Otis, we'll get the answer of what's going on. Okay. But to have this like on SmackDown, on Fox, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. This is, the black eye of professional wrestling over here.
Yeah, 100%. I said that while I was watching it. I was like, oh, I wish this was on YouTube. I would love it.
Yeah.
If this was a YouTube clip, I could flip around between me and my wrestling buddies and be like, dude, they did like a Wrestler's Court, Law and Order, People's Court kind of parody thing. It was funny because of all this inside humor from all of us who obsess over this thing. But but on Fox, man?
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
So it's for the casual fan, you hate that this is representation.
Yes. And this wasn't just a 2-minute clip that came and went. This was like 3 segments.
Yeah, this was a bit long.
Yeah.
They kept going back to it. So being like, just in case you guys are just tuning in, we're doing this silly shit. God. Like, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was not happy with that, man. I just don't think that's... I don't think it's... I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't run a fucking TV company, and I don't try to pretend that I know how to run TV. I don't know how to book wrestling, and I talk about it from a fan standpoint. From a fan standpoint, looking at this gave me that sinking feeling in my gut where I'm like, I'm going to be made fun of for watching this. And I felt a tinge of embarrassment, which I very rarely feel when I watch wrestling, even silly shit. I usually laugh at it and say, yeah, well, sometimes sometimes it gets a little goofy. These were 2 segments that definitely I felt like went beyond that, personally.
And that was the same thing that you said about the AEW musical.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you feel the same way about both promotions when it comes to silly shit.
To that level of silly shit. And I mean, you guys got a fucking set. And this isn't Firefly Fun House stuff where it's not like tying into anything on some serious note. I mean, Bray gets crazy in there, This is just... It's just trying to as they say, pop the boys. And I was like, man... This is one of the ones, remember I talked about not that long ago, I watched an episode of SmackDown with my dad? I'd have felt so embarrassed while I was watching this one with my dad. I'd have been like, man, you can turn it off, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Because my dad's told me he's tuned in from time to time. He goes, he says he usually can't get very far before something happens where he goes like, I don't know, I'm watching this. But when he comes on and he's flipping through, he'll put it on because he knows I watch it and he knows I like it. And he wants to talk to me about it, This is something where it's all like, oh yeah, no, I know why you turned it off, Dad. Don't even worry about
it. I totally understand. So wait, there is an actual musical on AEW?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I can't wait.
He's like, I can't wait.
I wish I would have seen it.
It's Stackhouse still hasn't seen it, he says.
I don't know.
I wish I would have
don't
seen it,
know.
and then we could. They had a Wrestling on the Rocks
Wrestling on the Rocks, what?
musical.
Yeah, we could have had a song and dance about it. Stackhouse says he still hasn't seen it. I think that... Oh, he says he's going to watch it now. Oh. Dude, don't put that on me, though.
Wait till after our show. Then watch it.
Well, I mean, I can't tell him that I'm better content. I'm not going to... It's only the first episode. But...
Yeah.
I just don't want him to like watch it and be like, so you made me watch this thing. I'm like, no, don't put that on me. With that in mind, all that in mind, yes, I was personally entertained. Yes, I did laugh at it, but I did recognize it for what it was. The first segment I was completely unhappy with. By the time I got to the last segment, I was giggling at stuff and talking about all these inside jokes and having to explain it to the producer, saying, well, what you don't know about these 1,000 hours of podcasts that I've listened to from people you've never heard of is that this is a joke because of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just thought it was a bad look.
I just liked how Otis was like the most rational one of the whole thing. I think that's what made me giggle.
Yeah, that's funny. He's still like, took it. No. Calm down, took it.
Like, why should you get it? Well, because I won it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. Why should it? Because
Yeah.
I won the match. And then JBL's all, I mean, that's a good argument. Or even the lawyer said, that's a pretty solid argument. like they didn't see it coming.
Even though apparently no one has watched My Cousin Vinny and all evidence has to be shown to all lawyers, but whatever. Could be a mistrial.
There was no evidence that wasn't shown.
There was the briefcase at the end that
was a bribe. It was not evidence. It was
well,
money.
they said it was evidence.
Oh my god! It was.
I'm just saying.
Briefcase full of money, or beer. Actually, it could have been beer. Knowing JBL.
Or an embarrassing picture of JBL. Blackmail.
He seemed happier about it, but maybe. Another SmackDown thing. Chad Gable is back.
Yes.
He's not Shorty
No more
G
Shorty
anymore.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were shitting on just him being back for some reason, but I'm super excited that he's dropping the Shorty G gimmick, and I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm more interested in Chad Gable coming back than I am Lars Sullivan. I am also curious with Austin Theory quitting on NXT and Chad Gable saying he quit on this one. I wonder if there's some sort of connection we're going to see. Maybe them as a tag team, maybe them in Retribution. I don't know how things work, but it does make me wonder. It seemed like a similar thing.
Is it a mid-season trade already?
Maybe. Let's see. Bianca. I did want to say I really like Bianca fucking powerlifting Zelina.
And her intro, so cool.
It's very fun. She's a very fun intro for sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Also loved her gear.
Her gear with all the SmackDown logos. I like that. She makes all her own gear, which I think is also pretty cool. The KO show with Daniel Bryan. I really liked where he's all like, can you imagine? He's like, me, Kevin Owens. He's like, I've never had a tag team championship. And then Daniel Bryan goes, well, yeah, you've turned your back against all of your friends. Like, and he's like, we're just gonna skirt over that. Like,
I would actually be really interested in a KO Daniel Bryan tag team.
Me too, and I think that they would feud with a Sami Zayn and I don't know who else. No clue.
Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, maybe.
The thing I did like too, I was gonna say real quick about that segment, and it's just the little things that WWE does and makes me appreciate it. Is how many times do you see something like that go on, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, you have your match, it's starting now, and it's like, of course they had the ring gear on. KO was still wrestling in his tie, and then Daniel Bryan was gone for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, he's in the back getting changed, and then he comes, running out there. I thought that was awesome.
Dude, that was so good. Yeah, that was a little thing that I think some people kind of didn't take note of either. But yeah, the match starts. KO is wrestling in a tie and pants. And Daniel Bryan shows up late to the match because he had to go get changed and come back. Who was it? Oh, maybe it was a thing on Twitter.
Wow.
Oh, Stackhouse is back. He said, wow, LOL. And guys, if you're listening to us on podcast, we do record these live through Twitch, and we do read off the comments. So you can definitely join in the conversation and be a part of the show. And every show is episode 1, so don't feel bad like you're missing anything. Just jump in as soon as you can. So, yeah, I thought that was a great detail. But I think there was a Twitter exchange with Kevin Owens and someone on Twitter where they said something like, I like you, dude, but seriously, you should stop wrestling in like you shouldn't be wrestling in a tie. You could take the tie off. And he just like tweeted back, just said no, period. I was like, it's good. Dude, people don't realize Twitter's not a real thing. If you're not giggling at like every tweet, you're following the wrong people. They're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you're doing Twitter wrong.
Yeah, you've messed up Twitter. But yeah, I thought that was tremendous. So I guess we could just jump into Hell in a Cell before we get into whatever the fuck happened on Raw.
Me versus you, let's do it. Hell in a Cell.
Man, I was not a fan of Raw this week, and I support it so much. All right.
I didn't.
Let me show you this. I'm going to save this picture and send it to you later, or unless you have a phone in front of you. This is the first picture I've ever seen where I thought, you know what, that red cell looks good. I've never thought that thought before until this picture right here. What were you about to say, Kev? Oh, that's.
I was just saying. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Raw. I didn't take many notes on. It was just, going through the motions.
Well, we don't have to we're not going on notes about it. We're just gonna talk about a couple things on it. But Hell in a Cell. Yeah. So for me, Sasha Bayley, Roman, and then sort of even Orton and Drew. I don't know. By the end of it, I was into it, but it was really hard to get into. I'll be honest. But man, opening up with Roman and Jay, what'd you think of that? What'd you think of that?
That was an awesome match. I liked it. It told a story in the match that Roman matches in the past have never been able to do. And he's, and I don't know if it's just because he can talk and we can hear him during it, which makes us, brings us in more. But, just the whole thing, beating him up and I care about you. I didn't want to do this type of thing. And, I thought it was a great match. I was, pretty surprised that it started. It kicked off Hell in the Cell.
I was too, but Afa and Sika came out and it was almost 8 p.m. by that time.
Yeah, they would have been asleep.
I mean, they can't exactly stay up till midnight every night, guys. That's what I thought. That was my thought on it.
Yeah.
I even brought out my Alpha and Seiko over here. I didn't bring it out. I have I think I've sent you a picture of it. I have an old school blue with the yellow WWF logo turn pad signed by Alpha and Sika.
Oh, nice.
It's not ring used from what I can tell. It's just something that somebody made recently to be like, but I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I got that, and I got these figures to go with it, and I have a signed 8x10 from Captain Lou, and so I'm going to find out if I can make that into a display that functions.
Oh, speaking of Captain Lou, real quick, random thought that I thought a couple days ago or weeks ago, I don't remember when, but anyways, a Cyndi Lauper song came on, the radio, and I was like, all right, cool. And then I remember all the stuff she did with WWF back in the day, and I was actually shocked to find out that she's not a part of the Hall of Fame.
I've heard that brought up not that long ago too, and from what I remember reading is that she's declined it.
Oh, really? I didn't look into it.
I don't know the whole story there, obviously, and I'm no insider reporter. I haven't asked her specifically or anything, but that's my understanding is that she's declined being entered into that, which I also think is silly because, like you said, it's surprising that she's not in there because of all the celebrities in there. She actually had a major impact on the wrestling industry.
I wonder if it isn't like what you said, that maybe she didn't like all the silly shit.
Depending on the year that she
Depending.
was being asked to be entered in.
Yeah, I mean,
She could be like, it's not really what I was doing before.
well, maybe,
Cindy
you
Lauper
know,
was kind of always silly.
It's true.
well,
But yeah, I just thought of that the other day, and then
Yeah.
the only thing I just saw was that Tommy Dreamer said something about it recently, I think.
Oh, it could be. Could be. He does say things all the time. He actually was in a match over this past weekend, and he shaved his head some on the sides and did his hair and makeup like a animal.
Oh, nice.
I thought it was awesome. If you haven't seen it, I'll send you a picture of that. Did you catch the picture I sent you of the cell?
Oh, yeah. That does look good.
Looks good, right? It's crazy. It's the only time I've ever seen it look good. See? It's it's Randy and Drew's fallen and the whole thing just is red and it looks good.
Yeah.
All the other times I've ever seen it in any other angle, I'm always like, ugh, this thing looks like plastic. It looks like a toy. What are we doing?
That was one thing I didn't like about that match is, them going to the outside and, it was weird. Randy's walking away and you can't escape the cell, and then they go on top, and I forgot who it was. They're like, oh, look what Randy Orton grabbed, and I looked and it looked like he had a Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Yeah,
like,
every single person said that. Even Corey Graves tweeted it while he was announcing because he knew he couldn't say it. Because Michael Cole says, oh, look at what Randy Orton has. And I went, fucking lightsaber? And then in the group chat I was in, everyone went lightsaber. And I saw like 5 of them, lightsaber, 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 lightsaber. Everyone was just all like, that's a lightsaber. And then Corey was all like, can someone tell me how Randy Orton got a lightsaber on the top of the cell? Like, it just fucking looked like a lightsaber, dude. Look what he's got. At least he didn't fucking call it a tire iron.
Yeah, I know, right?
But actually, you know what? We'll go back to the Roman thing. Let's just talk about Randy and Drew. What did you think of that match? It took me a while to get into it. I thought that spot seemed forced. I thought it was also unimpressive by visual, but I'm sure it actually, was not a fun bump to take. I thought Drew looked nervous the whole time, and I didn't think that was the best light for him. I didn't like the blood capsule. I thought that was a little over the top. I don't like it's like this Brock Lesnar Drew McIntyre thing where he's all like, oh, I should be booked like Brock was. Well, Brock's a different entity than everybody else. I hate to break it to everybody, but I don't hate Brock Lesnar booking. I don't think Brock Lesnar booking was bad. I think it was brilliant. I think it was perfect for who he is as a human and as a probably not human. I don't think you can do that with every top guy and have it make sense. It's not going to work with everybody. And I don't think it works with Drew. And I think every time they do it, I think it just pulls me away from Drew. At this point, I think he's one of the best heels they have on the roster because I boo everything he does.
Yes.
And let me just say this real quick. I don't want it to sound like I'm just shitting on him. I think he's a tremendous talent. I think he has an awesome look. I think he's good on the mic. I think he does great in-ring work. I can't get behind this character, this Drew. He comes off as pompous. He comes off as kind of an asshole. He comes off as self-important, and it's easy for me to boo him. And that's all I'm trying to say is that I'm not behind him. By the end of this match, by the beginning of this match, I was rooting for Randy. It's just to me, Drew is booked in this babyface way that he's coming off to me as a heel, and I think that honestly, I think he's one of my favorite heels on the roster. But I wanted to say that so it didn't sound like I'm just sitting here going, Drew sucks, he sucks, he sucks. He does not. I do not think that.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic. I think that I should be booing him. I don't know why they're telling me to cheer him when I'm in the Thunderdome. Go ahead, Kev.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what, I was going to bring up that too, is that...
Oh, was it?
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Just that.
Word for word.
Word for word, yeah. But, no, because like when he was in the cell, the cameraman's there, and he yells at him, "Move! Get out of my way!" And it was like, dude, you're a heel. Like, just admit you're a heel. I don't know if they're trying to give him like the Austin kind of thing where he's a face but he's a heel at the same time. But yeah, it just comes off that he's a heel, but they want us to cheer for him. I don't get it. If he just stayed a heel,
cheer for him. When I'm in the Thunderdome, they're like, "Here comes Drew, guys! Cheers! Lots of cheers! Let's see those thumbs up! Let's get clapping! It's Drew. He's your champion!" Oh, and I'm just like, "Fuck him! Boo!"
yeah.
And,
No,
I mean,
no.
you can't really have those Austin or Becky-like characters unless you've got all the fans behind you, right? I mean...
Yeah, those characters were nothing without the fans deciding that. And I don't say that often about too many things. I do think that we are manipulated as fans all the time to like things they want us to like and not like things we don't. But I do think that Austin and Becky both were surprises to the people in the back. And I think that and Daniel Bryan, I'd put him there too. Those three people are what they are strictly because the fans decided that. We just decided we will not take no for an answer on these ones. These ones are ours. We see the other ones come and go. These ones are ours, and they're protected now. Drew isn't that because there's no fans. He might be that when there are fans. I don't know. But as it stands now, the force thing, and like you said, he's cheer him. Why? He's so easy to boo. He's so easy to boo. And I can get behind booing him. And I don't want to not see him. There's plenty of people I've said on the show before, I'd be happy if they just disappeared for a while. No, he comes out and he has a match, and I'm like, well, I'll watch it, but I'm not cheering for him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to disappear. I don't need him to go away. I just need to be allowed to boo the guy.
Yeah.
So that being said... No, go on.
I was just going to say, and it's weird because it's starting to feel like, the Roman, from years past.
Kind of.
Where it's like, hey, here he is, and they're shoving us down they're shoving it down our throat, and we're almost like, just sick of it and resenting it. And it's like, all right, enough of this. We don't like it. Stop.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
So, how surprised were you with the ending?
Oh, I loved it. I loved
Randy
it.
won?
Yeah.
I didn't like... I mean, I liked the ending. I didn't like how Drew had to be internally bleeding and how he still barely even lost. When the whole other matches, Drew barely is winning. And in this one, he, barely lost it. And so it's, I don't know. Maybe that's just part of the flip in the script. I remember I had that issue with Roman too, though, a long time. He just out there, gets his ass kicked for fucking 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden wins in a couple moves. This is like the opposite, where Drew's just beating the shit out of him the whole time and then gets the win. So I don't know. Maybe this whole thing was meant to make Randy Orton a babyface, because I'll tell you, I'm cheering the hell out of him. I could have gotten worked. That's an option. That is a possibility.
I mean, I was legitimately surprised. I thought when he hit him with the RKO, I was like, all right, Drew's going to kick out, jump back up, Claymore, and it's going to be over. And then, the ref hit 3, and I was like, oh shit, he won.
Yeah.
I was excited about it. I was like, cool. And when it happened, I was thinking, all right, maybe they've gotten the clue that we don't want, Drew, that's it. And Monday night opens up with Drew, and I was like, ugh.
Yep. Nope. Yep. 100%. It wasn't that they were saying, hey, maybe we should lay off the Drew pedal a little bit. They were saying, hey, I don't think we want Drew versus Roman yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all it was.
I think they're going to wait until live crowds come back.
I think they're going to wait till live crowds. I know friend of the show, Sam Roberts. No, he's not really a friend of the show. But I know he wants to see that go to Mania, be a main event at Mania, Drew versus Roman. And I could see that. I hear other people saying stuff like that too. I mean, I'm not going to start cheering for Drew, I don't think, by then. But I don't know.
I'd be cheering for Roman if it happened.
Me too. Roman. So I don't know. But I think that 100% what it was is, hey, we got to get the title off of Drew so we can get through Survivor Series without getting Drew and Roman to butt heads. But we already had Roman and Orton, didn't we? Haven't we seen that a few times? in SmackDown and stuff? Maybe not. I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't feel like this novelty match. It does sound like a good match. Like Orton versus Roman sounds good. I don't know the story they're going to tell in that other than it just be a match. But Roman's matches as of late have just been so story heavy and even dialogue heavy that it makes you wonder what they're going to put on together.
Well, I was just going to say, so they already, to me, they already showed their hand on Monday because, they were talking about Randy and then obviously the stuff with The Fiend, which we'll get into later. But at the end, they said, oh, if Roman and Randy both are holding their titles, still holding their titles, this is the match that's going to be on Survivor Series. And I'm like, oh, to me, one of them's going to drop their title, and I don't think it's Roman. And I was like, oh, Randy's just a gap holder or whatever they call it.
Do you think they're seriously going to have Miz take the title off of Randy so we can get Miz and Roman at Survivor Series? Like, anyone's going to give a fuck?
I truthfully, watching Hell in the Cell, I was waiting for that, especially when Randy was standing there. And I was like, oh, here comes Miz. He's going to hit him. Here we go. And then when I saw the copyright logo pop up, I kind of cheered again. I was like, all right, no Miz.
Woo!
Yeah.
Copyright! Copyright! We got to the end, man!
Yes! Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I really do like Orton getting that 14. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So no complaints on that one for me. We can go back now and talk Roman. We did say that I think it went on first. And there is truly a part of me that does think that Afa and Sika being a part of it was a factor in them going on early. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I also do think that they wanted to probably close with the new champion, Randy. And so, yeah, I think that, hey, if you're not last, you're first. Like Talladega Nights.
I have a picture up of him crying. Sorry.
Of
Roman crying.
Yeah.
Oh, of Roman crying. I thought you had a picture up of Will Ferrell all of a sudden. I was like, damn, dude, that was fast. I just made the Talladega joke, and she's like, yeah, I got it up already.
No.
And you had it backwards.
I know I had to. Because it was, if you're not last, you're first. Which also works in the inverse, right? If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
No, I have a picture of Roman crying up.
That's brutal. That's a brutal picture.
It was so good.
It was actually tremendous. It was so good, so good.
Everyone was talking about it like no one had ever cried in the ring before. It was great.
Yeah, it was so good. But we've seen Bayley cry, we've seen Charlotte cry.
Oh, I know. That's how good it was.
Yeah, that's true. Well, at the same time, I guess there's the stigma between women crying versus men crying too. But
it was just unexpected. We just didn't think that he would sit there and just start bawling and be like, oh, I love you guys, and then it's making him seem like a psychopath.
I know, yeah, and then he just wipes away the tear with a serious look on his face, like, yeah, I got you, you little shits. Yeah. I know I told producer not to tweet about it because I didn't want to have the conversation online where everybody says dumb shits, but I'll bring it up here. They on, was it the day before or the Friday before? It was Friday. Yeah. Jay said that they buried their actual chief, the actual tribal chief. They just passed away. I don't know where they stood on the bloodline with that. I don't know if it was their literal grandfather or just the oldest one in the tribe. I don't know how all that stuff works, but it was obviously clearly a very emotional thing because when he even talked about it on the bump, he was all like, let's move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore. He brought it up, but then he was just all like, but I don't want to talk about it now. He was getting super choked up, and all the pictures that Rikishi had posted about that thing, you just know that they were all there in their ceremony. And was it Rikishi said something that our chief won't ride in a hearse, he gets carried by his family. Yeah. And there was a picture of all of them in their traditional wares. and they're carrying the coffin from wherever the one ceremony was to wherever the burial is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's heavy.
Yeah, that picture, there were like probably 20 of them just all carrying the casket and all around,
Yeah.
you know, walking towards the site. And it was just like, wow. I believe it was Rikishi's dad, I thought.
Rikishi's dad?
I thought it was.
Oh, okay. So then that would have been like the Usos' grandpa. I just don't know where they lie in relation to everybody involved. But yeah, there's a lot of emotion there. So I don't think that it would be impossible to think that you know, fresh wounds might not be able to be opened up when you're doing a story about the bloodline, about your family, and you just lost someone like that, like to do some stuff. But I do think that, hey, every great actor uses a real emotion from somewhere, right? So, you know, no knock on anybody involved or on Roman or anything like that, obviously, nothing but respect. But man, was that an awesome moment. And he's sitting there and he's all like, what's wrong with me, man? What I become? And then him and they embrace, and then he just grabs him and chokes him out. Yo, that chaos, I watched it twice. That chaos at the end there when he's choking out Jimmy and he's slapping his leg and he's just screaming, Josh, help me. And like he's trying to grab at him. Yeah. And the way that the camera comes around and there's like people in the way suddenly started getting like so chaotic. Like my heart was racing a little bit. I was getting some anxiety. And I was like, oh my God, like someone do something. Like Jay, like I watched it twice and both times I'm like, fuck, like it seems awful. And then he's just screaming, I quit just to make it stop. And like, ugh. I don't know where you go from here. I'll tell you what I think, what I'd like. So I'd like to see maybe the Usos accept Roman as the tribal leader and become his little hound dogs. You know what I mean? And further the bloodline as a actual group, faction, whatever you want to call it. I do think that would be really cool. Yeah. But I don't.
And we've been saying that for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rikishi. Actually, a day ago, yeah, Rikishi had Instagrammed. Our father life was always interwoven deep into the fabric of our Samoan culture and its history, understanding his bloodline. We will close our eyes calmly, knowing that we are anchored to you, Dad. So.
Yeah, so it sounds like his dad. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and think about it even just from that regard. You just lose someone that close, and you're like, well, I'm gonna go do this story now where I'm beating the shit out of my cousin for the family and for that spot. Like, there's a lot of real emotions coming into there too. So.
Yeah, so for all of them, talking about family, I mean, it's next level when you've got something that real that just happened.
And I think this is all next level storytelling too. I think this is going to be a story that people talk about for a long time. Oh, remember with the Usos and Roman? Like, I think this is going to go down as one of the greatest Roman stories, I think. I mean, who knows how many more years he's got. I mean, as of now, I guess that's an easy thing to say. But I think this overshadows anything he did with the Shield.
Oh, yeah. I know. I wasn't a big fan of the Shield. I know people loved them, but I was like, meh, whatever. Yeah. But that's, you know, we weren't, I don't think, watching really back then when they first started coming out. Yeah. But do you think that's where they go with it? You know, if they want to make them a faction, just say, hey, we've had too much loss. Now that I'm the tribal chief, you know, if you recognize me, you'll be welcomed back. And that's, you know, how they create their bloodline faction.
I think that it would be more complicated than that, but I don't think it would be too much more complicated than that. I think in a story like this, why wouldn't you have Rikishi come in and speak on behalf of his stupid sons who just don't get it and plead to the tribal chief to let his sons back in? You know what I mean? Like, really start going that way. I'm not saying you got to have a match between Rikishi and Roman, but add more bloodline to this story. Have a table set where there's Alpha, Sika, and Roman, and there's Rikishi on the other side with his sons speaking on behalf of them and pleading, and them just having to accept him and being a part of it. Like, I think you can run deeper with it.
It's the fourth. He passed away on the 4th.
Mm-hmm. The 4th. Yeah. Kev?
Do what?
I was just throwing it back to you because I thought you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, no. I was just That was it. Just taking your take on that.
Do you like it, or you think it's shite? Okay.
No, I like it. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where I would go with it. I'd have Rikishi come in and speak on behalf of them, and then go from there, and hopefully have an evil bloodline heel faction that's just running roughshod on the whole goddamn place.
Yeah, Roman's calling the shots. I think it'd be funny when you were saying that with Rikishi. I just pictured Rikishi pleading at the table, and in the background, Jimmy and Jay just have their head down, like scolded little kids, little boys.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Here's something else. I want to know your take on this, because I saw the question posted online, so why wouldn't we talk about it? Someone asked, what does Heyman bring to the table at this point? What do you think? And not like all around, like what could he, but like in this particular storyline as, God, what does he call himself? He doesn't call himself the It's not the advocate. Let me find it. But his position with Roman, what do you think? What do you think there?
I think he's a nice setup man for Roman. I think Roman's doing great on his own, and everyone's been asking for Heyman to represent Roman for a couple years now. And now that it's actually happened, Roman's actually stepped into his, to his own and found his groove. But, I still like it as now, because even Roman's just bossing him around, like kind of the way Brock did for a little bit. And I like it. Like he's working for him. It's not like, hey, I'm the mouthpiece like he was for Brock. It's, hey, shut up, I'm going to do this. And then Heyman's just kind of, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I like it. I think it's a great setup man for Roman right now, and it could lead into something. I just hope it doesn't lead into Brock versus Roman.
Well, at this point, that might be good. I don't know. That might be good. Oh, I've been an advocate. Okay, here it is. Completely drove for me. Because I've been a manager, I've been an agent, I've been an advocate, I've been CEO.
Yeah, I like that Heyman's actually kind of scared too.
Yeah, Heyman seems nervous about what's going on there.
Where you knew he was like that with Brock.
Isn't he the counsel to the tribal chief?
Counsel, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the history of them working.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
right.
he's his counsel. But I think what Heyman brings to the table in this story, and you tell me what you think, because I've been ponderificating. What?
It's too big a word for you right now.
I don't. What? Which one?
You were thinking about it. What do you think?
Well, so I was ponderificating.
Sound it out. Do a syllable.
Sound it out. Sound it out. Take it slow. Don't get ahead of yourself, buddy. Don't get ahead of yourself. No need. Take your time.
Slow down. We'll get through this.
I think that what Paul Heyman is bringing to this is something that he's never brought to a story on this level before. Is he's bringing subtlety, and we've never thought of Paul Heyman as a subtle guy. And when it came to Brock Lesnar and that pairing, you went, oh, he's here to talk on behalf of Brock Lesnar, because for one, no one cuts a promo like Paul Heyman, and we need Brock Lesnar to be next level now, and he's not there. And he never needs to get there because he's next level in the ring. We just need someone to get him next level by hype, I think the subtlety that Paul Heyman brings to this character, I think that Roman needs this level of counsel because he's like that level, right? I need someone to handle my paperwork. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not taking care of this stuff. I'm bigger than this now. You're here to do the things that I'm too big to do now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What was the other angle of it I had? But yeah, I think that it's like the subtlety of, well, for one, if you're with Paul Heyman, who's Paul Heyman managed? Brock?
Yeah.
CM Punk? Roman? Like, by association, you're a big fucking deal if Paul Heyman's coming out with you week to week. You know what I mean? So he immediately gets, one, heat, immediately, hey, Paul Heyman standing next to Roman, boo. Boo that man. 2, you're like, this dude's a big deal. This guy only takes on clients that are massive stars. Roman's a massive star. Clearly he would want Roman. Now, for him to say that he's not operating on the level he did with Roman that he did with Brock, it immediately puts Roman on a different level than Brock. Are they on a higher or lower? I don't know. But they're not on the same level. Could be a level up. He's a little more sheepish around Roman than he was around Brock. Almost like he had confidence in being able to convince Brock and being able to convince his client, and I can advocate on your behalf and get something done. Where with this one, it's Roman's going to do what Roman wants to do, and I just have to get the paperwork done for him. You know what I mean? So I think that him being such a big character, Heyman, that I think that it brings that all those subtleties to the table just by him coming out and him screaming to Roman once in a match and Roman saying, "Shut up, Paul." You know what I mean? Like, it just lowers them. It brings Heyman back down again. He's like, Paul, you're not here to tell the story. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't Brock Lesnar where we need you to narrate. You know what I mean? This is Roman where we need you to be scared in a way. You know what I mean? Like with not those words, but you know what I'm saying? What are you going to say?
Yeah. I was going to say the other thing that I think is that Paul Heyman, when he's the voice of reason and he's the one telling Roman, like, hey, you know, tone it down, like, you're going too far, and, you know, then Roman tells him to shut up. You know, look at the way he was with Brock, where he was just, you know, kill him, you know, do this, do that, and, you know, it was whatever. So if Paul Heyman's now the voice of reasoning, it sounds like Roman's, like, that much further than Brock was.
Yeah. And ECW. Hey, go out there and murder yourself, guys. What, 40-foot scaffolding? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, New Jack. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying he booked all those things to happen, but they did happen on his watch one way or the other. So for Paul Heyman to say, Roman, you're going too far, is kind of like, oh, he's not had a history of telling people they go too far.
On top of him crying, I think, just kind of on top of Roman crying adds to the instability of this new character.
Or the overkill of control. You know what I mean? I'm going to get this one way or the other. And if I got to make you think I'm weak enough to care about you, then I'll do that. And you're like, whoa. Yeah. No, I thought it was gnarly. It was good.
And the you really like the ref in this.
Brian Wynn. Man, that guy was good, dude. That ref was telling half the story in there. Roman has done such a tremendous job of adding the ref in the story and reminding you how the ref can be utilized as part of the story and not just there to count the 3 and not just there to stay out of the way. Brian was over there begging Jay to stop the match. He was the star of the show. Not at all. Yeah. Not remotely the star of the show.
Yeah.
Just off to the side. Please, Jay, just say I quit so I can stop this. And when he's setting up the chair by Jay's head so he can smash his head between the post and the stairs, Brian's just all like, Jay, please, he's going to do this. I can't stop him. Just you have to quit so I can stop this. And Roman, when he's sitting there and Brian's all like, he's incapacitated. I have to call this. And Roman gets in there. He's like, that's your cousin. Like, we have to protect your cousin. Like, and then he said he's out. He goes, he's your cousin. He's out. And he's like, you know what? You're out. And fucking throws him. And then when he throws him, he goes over. He grabs the ropes. He does a perfect fly over the top, and his feet just start kicking. It looked so good, dude.
Yeah, his feet kicking was just so great.
It was perfect. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought Brian was tremendous.
When he went over the top and he started kicking, for a second there, I thought his one of his feet got stuck on the top rope.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! Like, he hit hard, you know. I was like, he murdered the ref and his cousin.
Yeah.
Double homicide.
And I love that his kid cut a promo that they posted on socials.
Yeah. Brian's kid had a little WWE Championship belt, and he's like, Roman, throw my dad out the ring? I'm coming for you. And he gets all mad and like storms off.
That's
It was
awesome.
so good, dude. So good. Because you can also imagine the kids at home seeing that and screams. Hey! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just great. Great all around. And that was a perfect ref bump. And I think great ref bumps aren't always highlighted the way that they could be. This is one where, like you said, I thought, oh shit, that ref's fucking flying. I went back and rewatched it and I was like, it looks like he's got control the whole time. Actually, he was doing his feet in such a way that was fucking perfect. Like, it was so good. Because that's the other thing. Refs, this is a theory. I know people say whatever they want to say. But Jimmy Criteris talked about it in his book and in interviews, and I've heard Charles Robinson mention it before, that refs can't be taking bumps like the wrestlers take bumps because it can draw away from the reality of it, right? Here's trained fighters, people who know how to take a fall so they don't hurt themselves so they can keep fighting, right? Where a ref is just a guy who's there to enforce the rules. He's not trained to fall necessarily. So their bumps have to be kind of awkward and, in a weird sense, almost more realistic as a fall because you're supposed to be an untrained fighter. Like, because if you're a fighter, you know how to tumble. Yeah. You know? Like, even in self-defense, one of the first things they teach you is how to roll and how to roll back up, and how, if you're falling, how you can move your body to make sure you land in a way that's not going to damage you more.
Like grasshopper guy.
Well, God. Jesus. That guy bumped like a ref.
It reminded me
Can you imagine? Spear! Ah!
It reminded me of the ref who his ankle went like backwards, but he finished the NXT match. Which
Yeah,
ref is,
I keep wanting to say D.A. Brewer, but I don't think it's him.
No.
I don't think it's D.A. Brewer.
Tom,
I think it is Tom. Tom maybe. Maybe. But yeah, it was a fantastic bump. Yeah, because if you take a perfect bump, it looks weird because you're like, wait, they're fighters. You're just a dude. So he nailed it. I just want to say that Brian nailed it on that.
And even after the match, you could see other refs helping them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still dead.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Brilliant. Now, I know that Charles Robinson had posted he was at his daughter's wedding during Hell in a Cell, but I do wonder if he wasn't otherwise engaged, if he would have been part of this match or not, just because the last match that he was in, he was getting pushed around by Roman, and I wonder if that's going to be like something they're going to take note of later. Like, are they going to start going through the refs where Roman doesn't have the same ref twice once he abuses them? You know what I mean? Just a little thing I'm going to keep an eye out for. I like seeing Elias back. I do like seeing Elias do stuff. I like Elias and Jeff Hardy as a pairing. I know they keep going on about with AJ and Elias talking about Jeff Hardy and his drinking and stuff. And I know a lot of people are like, I thought we were past this. But he talked about it, wanting it to be his sobriety run. He wants to really champion the idea that he is sober. And how do you do that if you gloss over the idea of him being not sober, kind of like they've done so many other times, right? That's what they did every other time. So maybe this is how you deal with that, is you just hit it on head on and say, yeah, remind me because I'm going to remind you. I don't know.
Exactly. Yep, you got it.
I don't see anything else as far as Hell in a Cell went that was otherwise. Well, let's talk about this as we get into Monday Night Raw. There's not a ton in Monday Night Raw that I wanted to necessarily talk about a lot, but Retribution, man. The fuck are they doing?
I don't know.
So, Slapjack loses to Bobby Lashley definitively. They also have lost every other match definitively. And then they get this elimination match. And I think, here's where they're gearing up. This is what they're going to do. They're going to start showing their vicious side. Because the whole thing is that they are underutilized incredible talent, right? They're not getting their fair shake. Well, every match they've had, they've lost. I was like, here's how they do it. they're going to do it. Let me find the breakdown here. So Bobby Lashley and T-Bar end up brawling outside of the ring and getting counted out together. And they continue to fight on the way back. This is notable because they shit all over that later. So now they're both out. Then you get MVP getting eliminated because Reckoning fakes a possession hallucination angle where she thinks that there's like bugs all over her because she keeps saying, "Get them off me, get them off me. They're all over me."
I thought she was on PCP.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looked like. I know some people are trying to say that it was a seizure, but to me that didn't look anything like a seizure. As someone who has seizures and has also seen people have them, it didn't look like that to me. It looked like you said, more like PCP, someone hallucinating. So she does that, and then that gets MVP eliminated because of the distraction. So now we've had 2 eliminations from Hurt Business off of weird technicalities, and I thought, okay, well, maybe they're telling a story where they do whatever it takes to win, regardless of the negative effects or if it's cheating or not. And, you know, they're not supposed to be good guys. So it's working so far in that regard, right?
Yes.
Then the thing falls to shit. You got Mace goes in there, and it's Mace one-on-one with Cedric. And Cedric's just beating the shit out of Mace.
Yeah.
Mace is a big motherfucker who made Brock Lesnar look kind of small. Remember when they were nose to nose? And Mace is looking down? And everyone went, oh. Like, the moment Dio Madden stepped behind that table, when Brock came over, everyone in that arena went, oh, because we're like, we didn't know that. And he honestly looked better and stronger in that altercation than he did here. Here's what I thought. Here's what I would have done. Because what ends up happening is Cedric tags in Shelton, does a double move with Shelton, and then Shelton eliminates Mace. And then Mustafa Ali, being the sole survivor of his team, uses a chair and becomes eliminated by disqualification, using it on, I believe it was Cedric. Here's what I would have done. Because then, I'll play the rest of that through, actually. Then Mustafa Ali runs away because all of Hurt Business comes back, including Bobby Lashley, who now is just back, and none of the other Retribution are around anywhere. So did they all just go back there and fall asleep? Did Bobby Lashley legit just murder T-Bar in the back, and he's like ready to come back out now? Where's any of Retribution in this? And all of Hurt Business is back and okay. They're all fine again. I was like, that to me, I've been defending Retribution every week here because I really like it. And I like the people involved, and I actually think the names are cool for what they are. And I think it makes sense. This one match had me just sigh and go, what are we doing? How do we even get out of this? Because what I would have done is this. Kevlar as is your Retribution name.
Yeah.
I'd have done this. Kev Jack. Kev Bar. I would have done this right here.
All right,
Mace should have looked strong against Cedric because Cedric's the smallest guy in Hurt Business, so it doesn't hurt him to lose to a guy who's 3 times his size. He should have looked strong against Cedric, gotten the elimination on Cedric, and then Mustafa Ali should have used a chair on Shelton and got himself disqualified, and Mace should have gotten the victory over Shelton because Shelton had been beat the fuck up by a chair.
He's hurt.
So he's hurt. So now you've protected Shelton looking strong. He just got beat up by a chair. And Ali is out. Now it's down 1-on-1, but Shelton got the hell beat out of him with a chair. Mace wins that way. Boom. Retribution gets their win, and they show how dirty they are. We're just here to hurt you motherfuckers. If we win, great. But they even said in a promo, we don't care if we win or lose or anything. Well, you also don't care if you're hurting them.
Yeah, I as a casual fan, I was confused. I was like, well, I don't know who I'm supposed to cheer for at this point because I like Hurt Business, but I like them because they're heels. I like the types of heels that they are. But then if Retribution's this out of control, crazy, gonna, mess up the system that's in place, I don't know what they want me to do.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I just don't know if they know what they're doing with them or where to go. It seems like it's at this weird stall right now, and it's like, all right, just have a match. Okay, they won. All right, let's continue it. I think Mia Yim's character, what's her name again?
Reckoning.
Reckoning. There you go. I think she should have caused them, the entire match, the Hurt Business, the entire match, whether, she's distracting the ref, and then, I think, they should have done it that way, and then Hurt Business be like, hey, we can't put our hands on her, and then try and recruit a girl. 5-on-5, 4 dudes and a girl on each side. I don't know who you would get for it. I don't like that the Hurt Business, are all African Americans. I don't like when they just pair races together like that. But, I think, is Naomi on Raw?
Yeah.
Yeah, even if she joined the Hurt Business, fine. But, just...
Be in the family business, other storyline.
Yeah,
She's
producer wants her in the Bloodline story. But I agree with you that it seems like that's like the natural fit just because of what they're doing with it. But at the same time, throw a wrench in that. Have it be somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, they need a token white person. But, just get some, branch out even more. I think it would have been cool.
Actually, you know who would be good with them? Dana. Dana Brooke and maybe even Mandy together as a tag team could be part of the Hurt Business. They don't have to be. But I think they would look good going out there business-like, saying we're here to beat shit up. Like, I think that could be a great turn for them.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. If Mia's not doing, if Reckoning's not doing shit on the outside, what does it matter?
Yeah, and then even have somebody else join Retribution. I did think it was funny when she was having her seizure, the bugs on her, that they kept somebody, I don't know who it was, kept calling her Mia.
Fucking ref.
Oh, it was ref.
Yeah.
We don't know who it is, but I heard Mia like 5 or 6 times. Mia, are you okay? Mia.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I think it would have been cool if they start, if they branch out more and, add more members. Because right now it seems like they're just basically 4-on-4 and, Reckoning's just the manager without being the manager.
Yeah, she's a bit valet.
Yeah.
Lunar says in the chat, hey there, Lunar here. Hey, the producer here. Haven't watched a lot of wrestling lately, but it seems to me if something doesn't take off like a rocket right away, it gets scrapped. I feel that would be reasonable to say, except it did take off like a rocket ship. Everyone was talking about Retribution. Their mentions online were insane. They had the highest viewed YouTube videos of everything that happened on Monday Night Raw for weeks and weeks and weeks. I feel like it's almost the opposite. Like, it did really well, and then they lost direction because they're like, well, it dipped a little bit, so maybe just fuck it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what goes into the thought process in any of that, but it did. It was the number one viewed thing for quite some time, and now it's like, why is anyone going to be invested? Producer 177.
I feel like something happened right after Ali said, oh, by the way, I'm the hacker, is when I feel like the story just didn't take direction the way we thought it would, because we thought, oh, he announced that for some reason, and then this week he said, oh, don't forget, I could still mess things up. So I don't know, something about, I think, the hacker stuff maybe threw the storyline off. I'm not sure.
I don't know. You think they would leverage it and be like, "Hey, I'm the hacker. That's why you guys all think I'm controlling the production truck, because I can from my laptop." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I hacked in and turned off all the lights. I did whatever I wanted because I could do that, because you guys are dumb and don't have a good firewall. But I mean, Lunar says, "Real talk." So imagine the stupid Twitter memes if that happened. I'm not sure what bit he's talking about. Go ahead, Kev.
That would have been perfect, and then they bring back what did they call it? Cyber Sunday?
Bite this.
Or what? Huh?
Wasn't it Bite This? That or
Maybe,
Confidential? WWE Confidential or something like that?
Well, I'm talking about the one that the Cyber Sunday where they had the wheel back then. I thought it was called Cyber Sunday.
Oh, maybe it was.
But have him control everything and then be like, hey, guess what? I'm also the hacker, instead of just making it a side note.
Yeah, they made it a side note, brushed it away, and yeah, I don't know, it's just weird. Just weird. So to me, this was a huge letdown for Retribution. I've been behind them this whole time and thinking, okay, they can still get out of this. They can still get out of this. And this is just how you tell a story sometimes. And at this one, I was like, okay, so what's the fucking point now? At this point, I've lost direction.
So do you think it's salvageable at all?
I don't know. I don't.
If you had to rebook it, do you think you'd give up at this point?
I feel like that match was the turning point. This is where it either goes to shit or doesn't, and I feel like they let it go to shit. That doesn't mean that there's not other ways to dig out of it. I mean, there's a lot of gimmicks that went shitty and came back out. I mean, look at all the variations of Goldust that we had. All the variations of Jericho, like it or not, were not all successes. Everyone wants to pretend that they were. They weren't. You can get out of bad situations. So I think they're all talented enough that they could. I don't know what that direction is because I don't know what's next at this point. With that loss being as definitive as it was and Retribution looking as weak as they looked, I don't know what you do now to regain any sense of threat. And maybe that's what they do, is they do something big to regain that. Maybe they do like a saw a woman in half gag or something. Yeah, like the circus angles. That's how it
Do you
works
think
in
they're
the
going to
circus.
cause... Do you think the easiest way to get out of this is have them cause Team Raw the loss at Survivor Series?
They'd have to you know what they could do?
Or just everyone, it's a no contest, they just go in there and murder all 10 people?
If they murder the entire Raw team throughout the show as they lead up to it, and then they have no one, and Retribution goes, we'll defend Raw, and they go out there and win that match, maybe. But that doesn't look great because who the fuck did you just murder? So far we got Keith Lee, AJ Styles, and Sheamus. I don't want them going down at the hands of Retribution. So I don't know. I mean, but I think that's the way you could do it. Have everyone just completely knocked out in the back, one at a time. Oh my God, what happened to Keith Lee? Oh my God, what happened to Sheamus? Oh my God, what happened to AJ Styles? And his 9-foot wonder.
And
you know what I mean?
Retribution comes out with the night vision goggles and the lights were turned off.
Retribution here. We could step in. What? That's a Retribution voice. Well, that's what I think about Retribution. Hey, speaking of Sheamus, I just want to throw this out there. We don't got to delve into the match deeply, but the Sheamus versus Matt Riddle match was fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah, it was.
I was in the Thunderdome for this one, and there was stuff happening during commercial breaks where I was looking around do these guys have some fucking heat? They are kicking the shit out of each other. It looks bad. Yeah. It did look, I mean, there was definitely a time frame on there where it looked like a little bit of a receipt one-upsmanship. Oh, you got a little snug on that. I'll get snug on you. Oh, you think you can get snug on me? I'm going to get snug on you. Oh, you think that's snug? Okay. Yeah. And then it just felt like that's where it was going. And you're like, fuck! It looked bad, dude. It was good, though. I love Sheamus. I like Sheamus got the win. I don't have much else to say about it than that.
Yeah. I was happy with either one of them winning it, truthfully. I like both guys.
I could see that. Could see that for sure. What did you think about the Fatal 4-Way for the women to get into the Raw thing? Which, by the way, it was a little bit weird that they're just hey, we're going to have Mandy, Dana, Shayna, Nia, and then one of these four.
Yeah, somebody has to earn their spot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I truthfully didn't like it because I would have preferred if, I don't know, because for a while there I was thinking the women tag, have a team from NXT and a team from SmackDown go after it. But I just, I think it's weird having the women's tag in the women's, roster, but I guess if you take two away, the roster's pretty thin over there.
Yeah, I do think that it could be good to help build the women's tag division through this, and maybe that's where they're going. And hopefully on the SmackDown women's side, you get the Riot Squad in there and maybe another tag team. I don't know who they got. Maybe piece someone together, but I do hope that maybe what we're getting out of this is actually a women's tag division for a little bit.
Yeah. I thought for sure they were going to introduce Charlotte.
I think a lot of people have been expecting Charlotte back any day now, but I'll tell you, I'm fine with where we're at. I don't know why they're putting. Well, I don't know what's going on with Lana, dude. I don't get it at all. I have no idea what's happening. She's flying through these tables every week, and it makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, I think it makes someone in the back laugh too. So
yeah, someone loves it as much as me. I think that it's about to turn Nia face.
Yeah. Am I the only one that gets nervous every time they leave pencils on the desk?
yeah.
Yeah, because everyone else that clears it off, they get the pencils and everything. Even on Hell in the Cell, Randy pushed everything out of the way.
Yeah.
And, he looked at a pencil first and tossed it. I was waiting for him to lick the pencil and put an X where he was gonna put Drew, and then put him through the table. But for whatever reason, when Nia's putting Lana through the table, I always see pencils on the desk, and I'm like, one of those is gonna get her.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Lana's shtick right now, but I don't get it at all. So, but it's kind of all I had to say about that match. I didn't understand the four being put together the way they were. I didn't understand how they picked the four, and to be quite honest, I felt equally the same about all four. I wasn't rooting for anyone in that one. It literally anyone could have won, and I would have just said, okay.
Yeah, I was rooting for Nikki, but that was me.
I like Nikki, but nobody who was in that match, and maybe that's part of the reason why they had the match, nobody in that match is doing anything of substance or value right now.
Yeah, I miss old Nikki. I don't know who this new Nikki is.
Ziggy just... Oh, okay. My little squirrel just ran across the hallway, and I caught it on the corner of my eye, and I was like, "Ooh!" And I look over there, and he's just like, zooming into the back room so you can climb on his cat tower. It just made me laugh. Because the way he runs is weird. He runs kind of like a little bunny. So it's like this little jump scurry thing, and it popped me. I apologize.
The only thing that I thought with Lana winning is she's going to be the first one eliminated on Survivor Series.
I don't think so, dude. I think she's going to win it for them.
You think so?
I feel like that's what they're doing with her right now, and I don't understand it, but I think that's what's happening. I think that's how maybe they bring Lana and Natty back together, because Natty's been you're the weak link kind of a deal. I think they do this, and then Natty's all like, okay, I see what you're doing. Let's do this time, and maybe they go on and get the tag titles. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess I could see that. Let's see. There's not a lot else in here, and I don't want to keep you here all night because I know you got a family. But the New Day portraying the Street Profits was the funniest fucking thing I've seen in so long. Man, I already love the New Day so much.
I love this so much.
And the way they were making fun of Street Profits was just, I was dying, dude. And I don't know if this is intentional. I know it's at least semi-intentional. But when Kofi was being Dawkins, and he's like, fam. and
oh my God.
And then Xavier Woods goes, Kofi, you can't go full Dawkins. You can only go half Dawkins. We talked about this.
Oh.
So clearly that's a reference to Tropic Thunder. But what that does in turn, because the joke in Tropic Thunder is you can't go full retard, you can only go half retard, means that in a way they were sort of calling Dawkins a retard.
Not us.
That's fucking crazy.
Not us. This was the joke in the movie.
It was the joke in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's the joke they use there. And so I was like, you can you say it that way? It was.
They did, and
Yeah.
it was so great.
It was so funny, dude. And then Oscar goofing off with them too was just absolute money. It was so good.
Yeah, and for me, someone that does not care for the Street Profits, how they execute their jokes, I thought this was just such a great way to show it. Just, I don't know, just how to do parodies and how to make people laugh. It was such a contrast to the actual characters that I was like, man, I wish you could kind of like rub some of this comedy magic off, you know?
Yeah, it was hysterical to me. Kev, what'd you think of this segment?
I loved it. I thought, you know, the instant heat that they were trying to get in between them, or in between the New Day and the Street Profits, was awesome. You know, it had me laughing the whole time, and you know, it was great. I think for them to say that is a lot of what people say about the Street Profits, that they don't like them. So for them to parody them like that, I thought it was amazing.
They do have a following. They have a lot of fans, but
They do, but the people who criticize them, us included, have said these same things, and they turned it up a little bit, and it had me dying, and I realized I may have been getting worked all along.
I did have something to say. My only concern is that come this Friday, I'm wondering if Profits are going to do a parody of them, which I don't care for, only because
they're already a parody.
It's that one is just too loud, and his loudness overshadows everything. So it detracts from the joke. So I feel like if that happens, that it's not going to be as great as what we just saw.
Yeah, it's not going to hit the right way. I agree. We'll see what happens. Kev, anything else on that?
No.
The only other thing I had to talk about was the Firefly Fun House, and in turn how Raw ended with Randy and Drew. So Alexa is officially in the Fun House, and she fed Rambling Rabbit arsenic. And that was awesome. And then they did the moment of bliss. And I thought, man, I'm seeing right now, what I'm thinking with Alexa is she's next level Hollywood right now. She is acting on a level I don't think we've ever seen in the WWE. Kev was saying something. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I didn't hear him say.
I heard him say something.
I just said, oh yeah, I was agreeing.
Oh. I mean, I do think that Bray and Roman are both incredible at the acting and all that. And I obviously, Rock became who he became, but I don't think he was that in the show at the time. And I think that they all do their varying levels of good. But I think that what's happening with Alexa right now, you watch it and you go, this could just be a movie. I think that, and then the way that Orton and Alexa were going back and forth, fucking flawless. Orton's next level too. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's what I was actually gonna say that, if you don't mind. The top 4 actors that I just think, put them in a Hollywood movie right now, is Bray, Alexa, Orton, and Roman. I just think they've all just really stepped up.
Yeah. they're bringing Hollywood over instead of trying to get out and into Hollywood. They're like, how do we get more Hollywood here? Like, phenomenal. Here's the deal, though. So the Moment of Bliss segment was awesome. So good. Gets interrupted by The Fiend. Don't know how that happened. She said there were no surprises. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she didn't know. She must have not known. Why would she lie? So Drew comes out to beat the shit out of Randy, which, by the way, fucking why? You lost in a match normal. You just lost your match and your title because you're not good enough. You weren't better than Randy that night. Any excuse you want to give as someone who lost the belt, you lost it. No one interfered. And by the way, a lot of motherfuckers interfered in your behalf to make sure you kept it. So fucking relax. You finally go one-on-one with Orton and he fucking defeats you. Oh, fucking well. I also didn't like they were playing up the jaw in that match, but I digress. Fiend's on the top of the ramp. Drew's in the ring. Orton's in between them, and he makes the cognitive decision of, well, I don't want to fuck with the Fiend, so I'll just go beat the shit out of Drew again. And he just goes and beats the shit out of Drew again. They had an amazing angle here with here's how I would have done it. This is what I would have done, Kev. Are you listening?
Yes, I got you.
This is what I would have done.
Yeah, we're
We're
waiting.
Are you listening? Everyone listening? You guys listening?
So.
Who's listening? Anybody listening? Clumpy,
Nope.
Can you hear me?
We are all listening.
Oh. Here's what I would have
Is this
done.
our musical number?
Yep, this is it. He just like puts up his hands. He's like, what I would have done is when the lights went out and the Fiend was in there, he should have been behind Drew. And he should have laid out Drew in an instant. Grabbed him, Abigailed him, and then mandible clawed him, staring at Randy. Just staring at Randy while Drew is lifeless, being mandible clawed. Because the Fiend needs to lay out that I don't give a shit who you are, big boy. You're not getting between me and Randy. Because right now, I need to talk to Randy. You know what I mean? But instead he stood there and let Randy go the other way. And he goes, nah, well, I guess he's not coming over here. I better go wrap it up. It's like, what? And then the lights just come back on, and then they're just fighting again. That's all we've seen for a month, is the two of them fighting in random areas in the arena like it mattered. And this time Drew's doing it because he lost fair and square. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
What do you think, Kev?
I go back and forth on this. Like, I liked, Randy and Alexa. The Moment of Bliss was awesome. The Fiend comes out. It was a little weird because the Fiend shows up and Randy's gone. And it's like, oh shit, did the Fiend take Randy? And then Randy's at the top. I thought that was all great. But like you said, I don't understand why now it's Drew in the middle of the Fiend and, Randy.
Yeah.
Once again, it makes no sense, and it feels, like I said once earlier, that they're just shoving Drew in our face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, get rid of this. And the other thing that annoyed me with Drew real quick on Monday Night Raw is how he just threw the Money in the Bank contract, or the briefcase.
Yeah.
That annoyed me. But, it just, once again, he's a heel. He doesn't care about anything else. He's a heel. Let him be the heel.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I don't understand where they're going with this triple threat thing right now between Bray, Drew, and Randy. It makes no sense. Bray and, I thought after Hell in a Cell, the Randy, Drew segment, or story was over. And then Bray, hey, we have history. Oh, they burned it down, or burned the house down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this is great. And then Drew shows up, and it's like, fuck, way to ruin the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of, what was it, like last week or maybe the week before when Lana won, but they still ended it with Drew.
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, well, you messed up her moment, okay, which, she doesn't have that many moments, so you messed up her special moment, and then with this, we're just learning of this new Alexa character. We're just kind of getting used to it, so there's all this build, all this excitement, and then you take it down with something that, I'm sorry, but we're not that interested in. We're just not.
Yeah. 100%. I'm way over Drew in general in that regard. I want to see him do something else. His whole thing with Randy doesn't make a lot of sense to me at this point. And I think that the idea of Randy and Fiend is, to me, very exciting. So, yeah, and I do think that they pulled away. Give Lana her moment. She deserved that moment when she won that Battle Royal on that Monday Night Raw in the last match. And then they had to give the last 2 minutes of the show to Randy and Drew just punching each other in the back for no reason. It wasn't going anywhere or doing anything. And it wasn't something we didn't already see earlier in the show. Let Lana close out a Monday Night Raw. Man, she hasn't got a lot of those. She's not setting records here. She can have one Raw close as the new number one contender. But you close it out with something that largely meant nothing. So, yeah. And this is different. But you could have closed it out with Fiend and Randy. Instead, you closed it out with Drew and Randy. And I agree with you. I think this is one of those overpushed moments. I think Drew is getting real close to being the next person that people are fucking sick of before they had a chance to really get behind him.
And didn't you say in the Thunderdome that there were people booing?
Yeah. When I was in the Thunderdome, you could see people booing Drew when he was coming out. I don't know. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been sick of Drew, for a while now, and how they keep just pushing him back and just overkill, like, done with it, like, take a couple steps back and start over.
Yeah. I think give him some space from the Randy, because if Drew starts getting in the way of what we know will be a really good story, he's going to be the victim in that on the flip side, right? If we see there's a Fiend Randy Orton story a brewing and we keep not getting it because Drew is more important, the crowd will turn on Drew. The crowd turned on Seth because he went up against the Fiend one time. That's all it took. People were already teetering a little bit. I'll give you that. But the second they're all like, the Fiend wants Seth, we're like, well, fuck that guy then.
Yeah.
The Fiend is awesome. So if we're like Fiend and Randy, and we're like, oh my God.
Plus an Alexa just chilling at the top of the turnbuckle.
Psycho Alexa and Randy burned down Bray's house, and now we're going to finally talk about it? Yes. Who's the Scottish guy? Get out of here. People are going to turn if they're not careful on that.
Yeah.
Mark my words. You heard it here first. Whatever these internet wrestling journalists say. And I'll tell you, I made it all up and pulled it out of my ass. That's how I know I'm a wrestling journalist. Go ahead, producer. What do you say?
No, that's good. It's accurate. That's a lot of butt dust.
It's a lot of butt dust. The one thing I know about all internet dirt sheets is they reek of butt dust because it all comes straight out of their ass.
That's a clip.
That's a clip. Clip. I don't know. I'm just loving yelling about wrestling with my buddies, having sober for October drinks for a good cause, and hanging out with my drinking buddies. Kev, was there something else you wanted to mention in here or put a bow on?
No, I think that's about it.
Overall, we like this Hell in a Cell.
This was a fantastic Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, all in all. I watched Roman and I watched Sasha Bayley twice. I watched both those twice. And even the Bayley Chronicle I watched twice. Definitely, you should when you get the chance to scope that one out, I would. I'll send you the clip of that musical number so you can check that out.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared after Stackhouse's
You should be.
reaction.
Also, all the documentaries you were watching afterward, the Undertaker one was amazing.
Oh, there's an Untold with Undertaker and Randy Orton, which fucking they had me crying, man. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch that one, dude. Yeah. So here's the deal. Give your kids away. Just full stop. Just whatever. Just get rid of them. They're taking up too much of your time. You got to watch more wrestling and wrestling related content.
Okay.
I mean, we need to talk to you about this. We can talk about this off air. It's fine.
Yeah. All right.
I've located some drop-off points, but we'll talk about it.
Is that what those things are on the outside of grocery stores?
Yeah. You're like, is that all those locations you keep pinging me at?
Yeah,
Mhm.
those big bins. Just
Yeah.
got kids in there.
Yeah, those big the big pink ones with the door in the front.
A lot of stuff in the network.
A lot of good stuff on the network. So you should watch those too if you get the chance, even if you watch it bit by bit, I think. Especially if you know you're going to miss one of the shows so you don't have to get the other content. I would say replace it with that, you know. But I digress. Guys, we're here every week, twice a week, having drinks with our drinking buddies and yelling about wrestling because that's what we do. It's what we love. It's what keeps us going in the COVID era. You can check us out at WrestlingOnTheRocks.com. We got our shirts for sale where you can get our Pointless Aggression t-shirts. I didn't scream it a lot today. I've been trying not to scream as much. But believe me when I tell you, our aggression is still pointless.
It's because Clump's not here.
Yeah, there's not as much making you mad, man. So you can check us out there. Give us a subscribe, a like, a follow, rate, review, stars, all them things. Twitch.tv/WrestlingOnTheRocks. You can Prime subscribe for free for you. Buys me a drink and gets you in a raffle for a signed AJ Styles comic book. Guys, I don't know what else you need to know. I think that's us. I think that's the last call. Kev, what do you say?
Yep, let's go. Cheers.
Cheers.